Good morning. My name is Ernie, and what I want to tell you today is a little bit about an experience I had today and this weekend. So, on Friday at work, I work for a college in Massachusetts. We had a meeting, and yeah, it was a meeting for which we purchased food for everyone. And at the end of that meeting, at the end of the day, we were trying to figure out who would take home the extra food. And one of the food items was a platter of chips that had about half been eaten, so there was still a lot left. It was a big platter, and it was offered to me, and I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to eat them. But in the end, I did end up taking them, and I said, well, I'm not sure I'm going to eat them, but I will bring them to work this weekend. I do work on an ambulance over the weekend. And so I did. I did bring them. I forgot them in the car that day. It was going to be a snowy day, and the focus that day became navigating in the snow all day, and I forgot them in the car. And so I went home with them and brought them inside. And I wasn't sure quite what I was going to do with them because I knew I didn't care to eat them. Um, so I had to figure out something, and I was thinking how easy it would have been if I was still in college. When we had extra food from meetings, we would do that all the time, where we would leave them in the common room in one of our residence halls for students to eat. So it wasn't going to be so easy to find a way to kind of give them out because I knew I wasn't going to eat them. But then I had the idea of putting the extra chips into a few different containers to give to people who may not have had food. And what this goes along with is when I'm driving through the city where I work, it's a city where there are a lot of people out on the street who are homeless. They have a lot of different stories, and nobody really seems to ask them. And some of them are genuinely homeless. Some of them are just running into difficult times and are out there looking for money. And we do find people out there who, whatever their other circumstances, are addicted to drugs and are looking for money for that. And it does become hard sometimes to kind of decipher, so you just try to do what you can and what you feel comfortable with helping them. And what I do typically is I keep some extra food in my car that I do give out to people. Most often it's food that I am actually trying to get rid of. In my lunchbox each day I keep many snacks, and if there's a particular snack that, because I have extra, I've been in there a week and I haven't eaten it, and maybe it's like crackers and it's kind of gotten crunched up a little, I take it out of my lunchbox and replace it with a fresh one, and I put what I took out of my lunchbox in my car to give to people who I find who need food. And I do that regularly, but I'm so efficient with my food and things in general that there are many times I find I don't actually have anything extra that I took out. So back to my story about these chips. I did decide to take the platter and separate them into some containers. These are containers that I had actually in my recycling, because I do recycle cardboard and plastic. These happen to be from a restaurant, extra food brought home. So I took them out of my recycling and I washed them out again, and I put the chips in them. I have about 3 of these, a couple different sizes though, of these, and I'm going to put them in my car to give out to people, and I'm going to tape on my note that I have that I try to remember to give to people. I do have a note that I try to give with the food I give out, something that I made, including a few quotes on it, although sometimes I forget to give it, but if I tape it on here, I may remember to give it. So that's 3 snacks, but for some people who really have nothing, this a meal or more, maybe more than a meal for people who need food. So I wanted to share that and to let you know this cost me nothing extra. Of course, money was spent on the food originally. These chips originally, when it was bought for the meeting, money was spent on the food that was in this originally when we went out to a restaurant. But as far as creating this for somebody to have, it's no extra money. And that's really what I look to do, is if there are things that I can do for others, especially if it's not going to cost me anything extra, there's no reason not to do it. It's very valuable to make that effort. Another thing that I do regularly is here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, if you buy a can of soda or a bottle of soda, you pay a deposit for the material of the can or the bottle. And a lot of places are set up throughout the state that you can return that and get a return on that deposit. It's about 5 cents for each can or each bottle. I do that. I return them to get the money back. For me to use quarters to do laundry actually in my apartment building. But there are a lot of people who don't, and we see a lot of cans and bottles thrown away in this state and other places as well, I'm sure. And it makes me wonder if not returning it for the return on the deposit for yourself, why aren't people returning it to get the money back to give to somebody who could use it? Or if not wanting to make that effort, remember I was talking about nothing that costs extra money or even effort, if not wanting to make that effort, at least offering the cans and bottles collected to somebody who could use them. By the way, this is my first YouTube video. My name is Ernie, in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts here in the United States, and this is my first YouTube video, and I hope to post things regularly, maybe weekly, that I call Wonderful Ideas for a Wonderful Life. And these are going to come with a lot of different ideas of mine, whether it be ideas like this, giving to people who could use. I have a lot of frugal living tips that I'll be sharing with you, and just general ideas about life in general. So I invite you to comment and add your ideas as well as how you take what you have and make the best use of it. And please subscribe and follow and come back and to hear more. I'm going to leave links in my description below to my Facebook and LinkedIn profiles. I post regularly on both, especially ideas for a wonderful life and just ideas that I have. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.